Well, with so many of us now living in metropolitan areas, it's become a common problem for some folks to just not know where their food and fiber come from. That's why we've moved up this week's Bottom Line so that Neil Melancon can introduce us to one St. Tammany farmer who is not only working to change that awareness, but help his neighbors grow the food they eat right in their own backyards.
The Bottom Line is brought to you by the Cotton Board, strengthening the fiber of our industry.
And what I tell everybody, if you start in a garden, what you want to do is grow what you like to eat.
Looking around Mike Norman's backyard farm and garden, he has quite the palette. Around here, you can see zucchini grown in buckets, tomato plants, onions, citrus trees, and peppers, just to name a few. He even has a little bit of livestock, growing chickens for eggs for his morning omelet and eventually for meat.
Well, they go off to freezer camp. Camp Kenmore.
I say.
He's even experimenting with breeding rabbits, such as this red-eyed white New Zealand one.
This is Grace. Grace Slick. You familiar with who Grace Slick is?
Jefferson Starship, yeah.
No, Jefferson Airplane.
I'm sorry, Airplane.
And one of her most popular songs was White Rabbit.
Yeah.
So I called her Grace Slick.
And while he was educating me on bands that played before I was born, he was also introducing me to foods I'd never experienced before. I love onions, and Mike showed me the onion flour has a surprise in store.
That's the flour off of a green onion.
And they're edible.
Absolutely.
Let me try it. I do like green onions. Tastes just like it, but fresh. It's got that tang of that freshness in it.
Yeah, I sprinkle them on my salad or on my omelets in the morning.
Now, Mike isn't just feeding himself and his family, however. He's growing food for the local farmers market. It was his experience there that led him to start a new program aimed at encouraging people to do exactly what he's doing, growing more food.
It's fostering a sense of community by developing a locally sourced, sustainable food system. In essence, St. Tammany Parish feeding St. Tammany Parish.
Now, behind Mike there will be the Community Gardens for the Abita Grows Initiative, a plan that encompasses several ideas, including a volunteer garden that will sell food at the farmers market. More importantly, he's planting a seed that he hopes will take root in future generations.
In my mind, the community garden is going to be an outdoor classroom. Not only are we going to grow food here, but my hope is to teach people how to grow food with the thought that the skills that they learn here, they take to their own backyard.
Back in Mike's backyard, he's already working on other aspects of the initiative, including making farming accessible for the elderly. He uses straw bales covered in nitrogen fertilizer that can easily be reached from a chair.
And you water it in for 12 days. You do that every day. And what happens is the straw starts to decompose, compost in there. And then you plant your plant right in there.
Helping veterans is also part of the plan, and Mike is growing cayenne peppers for a group of retired military personnel who have a contract to provide Louisiana hot sauce to military bases.
All the peppers are going to be grown here in Louisiana, and a great deal of the hot sauce manufacturing will be done here.
Tackling food waste is another part of the initiative. Working with other farmers in his community, Mike brings excess produce to local charities rather than throwing it out.
You can't put that back in the ground or glue it back onto the plant.
Right.
So one of the things with the Abita Grows Initiative we gather that up and bring it to our local food bank.
Oh, okay.
Because food banks rarely ever get fresh produce. And when they do, they're all doing happy dance.
And I know after tasting some of Mike Norman's food, I was doing the happy dance. Now see, Mike has been active in the town government in Abita Springs for quite some time, which has helped him get this initiative started. And Avery, of course, as we both saw when we were out there, I mean, he's really involved in a lot of different aspects and areas. And even though that community garden is still in a very rough phase, that's how these things start. Every farmer's field starts, clean and level, so he's just at the beginning stages too.
What I liked was when he was talking about the community garden, doing it a little bit different from other community gardens. Instead of each person having their own plot,
Right.
That it would be a log of hours.
Yeah, and he's got a local overseer that's going to be, he's a neighbor who lives right there in the neighborhood where that community garden is.
It's always nice to have a close caretaker. Thank you very much, Neil Melancon.